Logan Cain is a visionary, and I cannot wait to see how that vision from a couple years back has come to play on this stage.
Not a lot of people have been with us right from the beginning, and Mankind has. Yes. Long before it was cool to care about what we were doing, you guys were there for us, and we love you.
We love you guys too. Hey, I'm Nick with Mankind, and I'm here with Logan Cain. You guys headlining.
I can't believe
Unbelievable.
it. I can't believe it.
The last time that we spoke with Logan, he was picking the brain of TobyMac.
Indeed.
About, what it was going to look like to be headlining.
Hey, I'm Taylor.
I'm Madison.
I'm Logan.
And we're Cain. And we're so excited to go on tour the Cain
Live and in Color Tour
with our friends Katie Nicole and David Leonard.
And here you've had a child.
Yes.
You have a headlining tour.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I feel like I have 2 children today. My daughter's and my tour. Yeah, I mean, when I told you I was learning from Toby, I've learned from kind of everybody that we've toured with, and but we're taking a lot of the Toby playbook out here, and I think first and foremost that is with tour culture. And I think that I've said this since I was an opener. I said I want to headline like an opener because I feel like the opener corner is the one that gets cut first. And it's not anybody's fault. There's nothing malicious about it, but that is just kind of how it goes. If you need a dressing room, or you need a bunk, or you need a parking space, that stuff kind of gets taken from the bottom of the totem pole. And so we've just been very fortunate, and people have invested in us in a way where we can in turn invest in. Now, we've got no slouches opening for us in David Leonard and Katie Nicole. We're lucky to have them with us.
That's amazing.
But I think just that to me gives me so much peace about going last. Yeah. If you feel like you're taking care of everybody in front of you, then when you come out on stage at the end of the night, I don't know, those boxes are checked mentally for me. So
I love that. And on the way in, I kind of heard that you guys are changing things up a little bit in that you're not necessarily playing a set and closing it out, that you guys have more of a fluid night happening on this tour.
Yeah, when we started to scheme and dream this thing up, it honestly has become better in real life than I even thought it was on paper. But I think just in that same, I'm biased, it's my own thing, I guess, but part of that is coming into this tour with the understanding that at least 2 of the biggest songs of the night do not belong to us. And so regardless of whether or not it's our crowd or whoever's the draw, or all of that aside, understanding that I admire David, I admire Katie, I am a fan, and being able to put things in an order in a way that, I've been to a concert, you've been to a concert, we're trying to give people something new to look at every sort of 15 to 20 minutes to make sure that you're kind of on the edge of the seat or on your feet, and it ebbs and flows. And I think for us, this is kind of how I've thought about it from a branding perspective or whatever. Is there are great bands in CCM that are already standing on the various corners of show and showmanship. So I feel like, have found our corner in a more theatrical space. So if you come and see this, our hope is that it feels more like a late night show or an award show or theater versus just sit and watch, and then the lights go down and there's house music. You know what I mean? Rather than just opener, middle, close. We're trying to keep you, kind of take everybody on a journey. So
I love that.
It seems like it's happening. We're having a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness.
And I think people are too.
I can't believe it. We were at the fairgrounds in a trailer, and you just talking about some of the things that you were dreaming about, kind of sketches in your mind, and it's happening.
It's happening, and first of all, in no small part to the crew that we've hired. I think I can't overstate how well we've hired our staff, because we have a tremendous amount of on-stage production for this level of tour, and especially our first headlining deal. I feel like people were probably expecting to come and see and something they've seen before, just more of it, kind of, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's our first headlining, so it'll just be us longer. But in reality, what it's become is this, again, just from hiring the right people and the interconnectivity of our staff with production teams, and we've been able to bring a full LED wall, a full on-stage set, a full. So I'm excited for you to see it tonight because it's
very excited to see it.
It is different in format and also visually than I think people have ever seen us before.
And I think that you probably feel a little bit more relaxed because you don't have to hit a time stamp.
Absolutely. Right? And again, because of this integrated sort of show flow that we invented is not the right word because people have done this thing before, but the way that we created this show flow, there's not really a timestamp on anybody, which I think is a really nice thing. And I've been able to, we've been able to give freedom to David in moments to say, hey, look, what you're feeling in the room, you take. Katie, when it's you take, versus that watch the clock sort of feeling, because I think that just coming from the artist perspective, but anybody in any kind of line of work, if you feel like, oh man, I have to do it in this time frame, and I have to, it forces you to make decisions about, do you follow your heart, do you follow your instincts, or do you inherently, I think that like when you're trying to be creative and in touch with your, discernment and what the Holy Spirit's trying to do, if in the back of your mind you have a clock running, you're just not going to be right there present with it. And so that's just been really fortunate. It's under 3 hours, which I think is kind of industry standard. I know it's a long night for people to watch, but
it's
we've managed to keep the whole thing under 3 hours and still give people the flexibility to do. And to me, like when I first started touring, I thought, okay, I'd love to be on a tour. I'll do the same thing every night. I'll go into autopilot, I don't have to stress. And what I found pretty quickly is that disconnects my head and my heart. And so being able to have moments throughout the night, I've probably got 10 moments where I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. And that's a lot of fun. And it provides a little bit of that. There's a little stand-up comedy in it. There's a little theater, just in the sense of like, look, it's us and you. And if you say something or do something and I'm going to react to it, and that room's going to get that specific show.
Oh my goodness.
Versus it just being the same every night. And
very much about the audience is what I'm hearing that you're saying.
Yeah. I have been saying this at various nights, but I think that this is true, is that like the whole theme as it is, and I don't want to give too much away, but the whole theme of the night is that we're family, and that the people in the crowd are as big or bigger a part of what's happening in the room than what we're doing on stage. And if people can take that ownership of it and understand that, like, look, we're going to have fun, it's going to be entertaining, but then there's going to be moments where it's really going to be just completely dedicated to the vertical worship and bringing God glory, and we're going to let him have this time. And it's like, when people in the room take ownership of that and understand that, man, they're ministering to each other. In the best way, I find that line is becoming blurred, where we can have fun and sing "I'm So Blessed" and I'll do a backflip, but then God is still allowed to move in a mighty way in the same space, and you're not having to pick and choose. And I think that is entirely a part of how much people in the room are coming in sort of expectant and willing to let their hair down and let their hands go up.
It's a more realistic view of a person's life too. Those dips, those valleys, rather than just leaving with a high, you leave with a life change.
Exactly. I'll hold, but I think that that is my hope.
Amen.
With this tour and this show, is that we don't come into the room and have a nice 3 hours where we feel really good, and then go back to our cars and our same lives and problems and baggage. And so as much fun as we're having and as much joy as I'm having on stage and hopefully people are having in the room, if the life change doesn't happen, we're kind of wasting everybody's time here. So that's what we're out here doing.
Logan Cain is a visionary, and I cannot wait to see tonight how that vision from a couple years back has come to play on this stage.
Not a lot of people have been with us right from the beginning, and Mankind has. And long before it was cool to care about what we were doing, you guys were there for us, and we love you.
We love you guys too.
Super great.